middle finger right. Hater, cause they don't understand the way that I came through. Cause they don't understand the way that I came here. Only made a couple bands on my revelation. I just pray to the Lord and am patient.
Alright, so look, bro. Or brodette. Bro, my brodette. This is the thing. A lot of people debate about whether or not weed or porn can actually be addictive. And that is because they compare it to more harder forms of substance abuse, such as alcohol, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, stuff like that. A lot of people tend to belittle weed and porn because it's so overlooked. You overlook it because it's so easily accessible, right? Weed is accessible pretty easily, porn is accessible pretty easily, but some of these other things have a bit more of a barrier to get to it. And as a result, there's more perceived notion that they're bad, right? But what you have to understand is that in order for you to know whether or not you are addicted to it, is you have to actually go on a tolerance break, either just to test it out, just to see, or to actually like quit permanently because you see that it's no longer serving you. So you don't know how addicted or reliant you are on weed or porn until you actually try and quit.
Yo, my nigga, what's wrong with you, nigga? Stick out the stupid. Yo, who's man's is this?
And even if you don't believe in the negative effects of weed or porn, you still need to go on a tolerance break to see exactly where you're at in terms of how reliant you are on it. We always see these memes of like Kermit the Frog and No Nut November, like about to beat my meat, Kermit the Frog smoking.
I'd like to tell you what today's letter is, but I am really up. Hey, Big Bird, do you know what today's letter is?
Sure, Kermit. Today's letter is joint.
Yeah, Big Bird, joint is not a letter. It is a word.
Sorry, kids. Today's letter is 3.
Big Bird, 3 is a number.
Right? And yeah, the memes make it more socially acceptable, more like it's okay to indulge in this stuff, right? But I think because of the fact that we make it so that they're so accessible and we joke about it so much, a lot of people get blindsided with how addictive or how reliant they become on these things as crutches, right? People use porn as a crutch because they're not getting laid enough. People use weed as a crutch because they want to relax all the time, right? Or be chill all the time.
Go crazy. Go stupid. Go crazy. Go stupid. Go crazy. Yeah. Go stupid. Go crazy. Stupid.
You have to be able to be chill without these things. You have to be able to get laid in real life as well, right? Like, there's a reason after you watch porn you feel bad because, you know, you're not the one actually having sex. And there's a reason why when you smoke too much weed, you tend to not be as motivated. You tend to not be able to deal with the stresses of life without it because you're always reliant on that one singular thing. You want to be able to diversify the things you use to cope with life. So the thing is, most of the negative effects from weed and porn occur especially when you start using it recreationally on like almost a daily basis. If you're smoking weed 5 to 7 days out of the week and you know it's almost becoming almost a daily type of thing, then more than likely, you know, you're using it as a severe crutch rather than, you know, using that energy, that time, that money on other things in your life. You're using it. It should be in any, especially like porn. I don't really fuck with it like that, but I can see the benefits of weed, right? It should always, the type of things that come with weed is like, it should be it should be an enhancer to your life, not a crutch, not a something that you overly reliant upon, right? We can just put you in a different type of headspace, different type of mindset, and using that occasionally is cool. but almost using it on a daily basis, with porn, that's where you start getting the negative effects. With weed is like the lack of motivation, the lack of desire, that social anxiety because you're stressed. You rather stay with the weed than talk to your friends or be around family or whatever it is, right? And these are the things that people overlook because of the fact that it's, for the most part, easily accessible and fairly cheap. So in order for you to actually get help and overcome your addiction, you have to actually admit that you're addicted. And how do you know if you're addicted? Go on a 1 to 2 week tolerance break and see how you feel, how your body responds to not having weed in the system and just functioning without weed or porn in that case as well. You'll see, you will know exactly within that 1 to 2 weeks how reliant you are on this substance or on this activity. So as long as you're hiding behind the lie that weed or porn has absolutely no negatives, you'll never seek out the necessary help to understand it. Period, point blank.
Period. Nothing left to say, like, period.
And some people, I've seen some comments about people like Owolabby, like, there are worse drugs out there. Why are you harping on porn or weed? Like, they're not that bad, right? And I feel like because of the fact that we overlook it so much is what can actually make it more bad than one of the harder drugs, right? These like weed or porn is so easily accessible that we almost forsake it as like not having any negative side effects. Like, between you and me, I don't know too many people that have access to heroin or methamphetamine or alcohol as much, right? Or maybe even not even alcohol. I mean, you can still finesse it, but like cocaine, heroin, stuff like that. The accessibility to those things is a lot harder than one click incognito tab porn, or have your homie who also smokes weed probably, or somebody in your social circle. You probably know somebody in your social circle, your friend group, that smokes weed. And you know, if you wanted to test it out, you could probably get access to it pretty easily. So the fact that it's so easily accessible is why I feel like a lot of people just bury the fact that it has absolutely no negatives and that people can't get addicted to it. Always have to ask yourself, what is it doing for you? Yes, you see on this so-and-so message board, weed is not addictive, weed has no negative capabilities, or porn is not addictive, porn has no negative capabilities. But what's your relationship with that substance? Is it affecting you negatively, positively? Like, what benefit or drawbacks are you getting from it? Are you spending too much money on it? Because weed is pretty inexpensive type of substance. Are you spending too much time on it? Do you need to get high before work or after work? Stuff like that, right? And knowing yourself, because he who masters himself masters all, that allows you to actually adjust accordingly and know whether or not weed is serving your best self.
What more do you want from me?
Also, just to quickly harp on the fact, it's a bit harder to see like porn abuse or to a lesser extent weed abuse, right? Alcohol, you can always usually see it in the face. It's puffy, the face is red, stuff like that. Body's bloated. But with like weed and porn, there's a lot more. You know, people can go to work high, and you know, for some extent, you can't notice. Or even porn abuse, like there's no way you will know someone is having a porn addiction unless you actually have sex with them, and let's say they can't get hard or stay hard during sex, right? So ask yourself how much you are using the substance. Ask yourself the negatives and the positives it is bringing into your life, and then admit to yourself whether or not you are addicted. And again, like I said, go on the 1 to 2 weeks tolerance break, and just see how you feel. How, you know, can you go without it for a week or two? Are you gonna be good, or are you gonna be having withdrawal symptoms such as insomnia, irritability, lack of appetite, cravings, stuff like that? Just be mindful. And again, if you are someone who needs help personally, how to, you know, the necessary strategies, the foods you should be eating, the meditation practices to overcome your addiction. And if you realize I'm actually overly reliant on this and I want to maybe not quit, but better manage my relationship with it, check out my mini course and mini email series right here. Link in the description. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, God bless. Much love. Peace and joy. Namaste. And always remember, always, 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 if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. Whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're eating, doesn't nurture you or make you better, cut it off. Alright, bro. Deuces.
I came here, only made a couple bands on my revelation. I just pray to the Lord and in patience, cause this year is all about elevation. Shut down Westfield cause I can do.